Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Pastor's Pantry. I'm your host, Sam Peters. We have a great show in store for you today. You know, when summertime comes around and friends come over, it's nothing like having a great picnic, sandwich type environment. But you know, part of making that is having some great bread. That's the piece that holds it all together. We've got some great ingredients, but you gotta wrap your hands around something. So we're gonna be making some homemade focaccia bread today. We're gonna be making some homemade naan today. And then the insides of these sandwiches, we're making the juiciest Italian sausage sandwich you've ever seen, made with PatterFam's arrabbiata sauce. And then for my vegetarian friends, got a lot of those. We've got a fantastic hummus and beet vegetarian sandwich wrap that you're just gonna love. So let's have some fun today. Let's make some sandwiches together. Let's get cooking. Okay, to make our naan, we need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder. We've got a tablespoon of oil, 1.5 teaspoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 cup of soy milk. Okay, we want to go ahead and take our flour. To that, we're going to go ahead and add our baking powder, our salt. Let's go ahead and get our sugar in there. And then I just want to mix all of that together with my hands. Now we're going to go ahead and add our milk and our oil. And I'm not putting all of that in at first. It could be a little dry, it could be a little wet. We're going to start with that. As you can see, all I'm doing is turning the bowl, turning my hand, and pulling that flour into that liquid as we go. Nice little ball of flour. Now we need to do is just turn that out and knead that for about 10 minutes. Okay, we've been kneading this for about 10 minutes. You can see it's got a nice elasticity to it. It's nice and smooth. Now we're going to put this into an oil bowl, put it in a nice warm spot with a warm towel over it, and let it sit for about an hour to rise a little bit. Okay, for our arrabbiata Italian sausage, there's nothing that's going to make this sandwich more perfect than homemade focaccia bread. For this, we're going to need 2 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of white sugar, a tablespoon of active dry yeast, it's just 1 package, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of dried thyme, 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil. We're going to need a pinch of ground black pepper, 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. We have 1 cup of cold water, 2 tablespoons of olive oil for the end of it. We've got a tablespoon of Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese as well to put on the top of that at the end. It's going to be great, so let's get at it. Put all our dry ingredients into the flour first, and let's mix all of those together. We can just use our hands, best tools God gave us. Okay, now that's all mixed together, it's ready to go ahead and add our liquid ingredients. Continue just to pull that in together. Okay, now we've got a really nice ball. It's good and elastic, got a nice smooth surface. What we're gonna do is we're gonna spray our bowl with a little bit of cooking spray. Let's roll that around, get it covered. We're gonna cover this with a moist towel. We're gonna put it with our other bread and let it rise for about 20 minutes. Okay, for our arrabbiata Italian sausage sandwich, we're gonna need a pound of Italian sausage. We've got thyme, we have oregano, we have garlic powder and basil. We're also going to be using some mozzarella cheese, a little bit of salt. I'm going to really kick up the heat in our sausage sandwich by using some nice minced fresh cayenne peppers. And let's start seasoning up our Italian sausage. We're going to put about 2 teaspoons of our oregano in there, our basil, our thyme, a little bit of our garlic powder, our salt, and then I like to grate a little bit of Parmesan cheese in here as well, and about 1 tablespoon of our cayenne peppers. Okay, now we're just going to get right in there and start mixing. Okay, we got that all blended together. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and separate that into like 4/4 pound pieces, and we're going to shape those just into a square about the same size of our focaccia roll. Now we're going to go ahead and take these out to the grill. We've got it heated up over medium-high heat. We're going to get those all fried up for us. You want to cook these till about 160 degrees internal temperature. Put about 4 to 6 minutes on each side depending on your grill. Only turn them 1 time. Okay, let's make our focaccia rolls. It's been sitting about 20 minutes. That yeast in that's got that raised real nice. What we're gonna do is we're gonna punch this down, and we just wanna work this out into a big flat surface, about 1/2 inch thick. And I'm just using my fingers to kind of get that pretty close. Now I'm just gonna lightly run our rolling pin over that. Now I'm just gonna take my cutter, cut these in about 3.5, 4 inch squares. Okay, we want to put these on a greased cookie sheet. I'm going to lightly coat the tops of these with olive oil. I'm sprinkling a little extra thyme on the top, a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese, and a little bit of mozzarella cheese on the top. This is going to make a fantastic focaccia garlic bread. 450 degrees in the oven for about 15-20 minutes till they're nice and brown. Okay, one of the toppings for our arrabbiata Italian sausage sandwich is a deep fried lasagna noodle. We par cook those to almost al dente. We've let them dry on a towel, And now in a deep skillet, I've got some vegetable oil up to about 350 degrees. We're gonna flash deep fry these things for just about a minute or so on each side, just till they're nice crispy brown. Turn them over about halfway through, make sure they get evenly browned on both sides. Onto a paper towel to drain, and while they're still hot, let's hit them with just a little pinch of salt. We're gonna take our focaccia roll that we made. We're gonna slice that in half. Let's go ahead and get our sausage patty on there. Oh, doesn't that look great? That's fantastic. A slice of mozzarella cheese. We're gonna put one of those lasagna chips on there. And now we're gonna add some of PatterFam's arrabbiata sauce. And then I'm just gonna make a real quick chiffonade of basil here. Dress that on top, the bun on the side. There you go, PatterFam's arrabbiata Italian sausage sandwich for our wrap. We're first gonna work on our tofu. I've got a firm tofu here. We're gonna go ahead and let all the whey drain off of that. We're gonna cut that in about 1/2-inch cubes, long pieces. All right, and then I just wanna very carefully put those back here in the bowl, and we're gonna marinate it for just a little bit. What I've got some sesame oil. A little bit goes a long way. We're gonna drizzle just a little bit of the sesame oil. Okay, and then we wanna hit it with a little bit of our Italian seasoning that we've been using in our other dish. We're gonna put a little bit of thyme, a little bit of our oregano, and a little bit of our basil. We're just gonna let that sit while we get the rest of the ingredients together. All right, we wanna toast up these pine nuts for our hummus, and I've got about 3 or 4 tablespoons here. Dry skillet over medium-high heat. Okay, we just wanna lightly brown them. You don't wanna burn them. Okay, there we go. Okay, our naan has been sitting around for about an hour, resting, getting happy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pull those off in just little balls. We're just gonna press those out. We've got a little bit of flour here on our board. I have some that I made yesterday that we're gonna use for today, so it's nice and cold. Now we've got it out nice and flat like that. A couple things that you wanna do. You wanna dock the dough. Poke several holes in it just like that. That lets all the air escape, otherwise you're gonna end up with a big non-football. I like to top mine. You can top it with just about anything you want. Now one of the things that I'm gonna top mine with, because I really like the flavor, is toasted sesame seeds. We're just gonna brush it real light with olive oil, and then we're gonna spread these and push these into the dough. I've got my oven set at 450 degrees. We're gonna put them out on a pizza stone for about 4 minutes. Okay, while our naan is in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and prepare our hummus. For that, we've got 2 cans of chickpeas. I've drained the juice off of that. We've reserved that liquid. A couple tablespoons of olive oil. We've got 2 garlic cloves, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. We've got 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 3 or 4 tablespoons of sun-dried tomatoes. We're gonna sort of add those to it and reserve some to top. And we have those toasted pine nuts. And 1/2 teaspoon of Jay's Peach Scorpion chilies. Thank you, Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chilies. So we're gonna put all of those in our blender, blend them up, make a great hummus. Yesterday, I went ahead and dehydrated some beets. What I've done is I got those dehydrated. We're gonna put a coarse chop on that for our wrap. It's gonna give some nice crunch. I just sprinkled a little bit of salt on that. Okay, we wanna go ahead and make an edamame paste. This is a great source of protein, fantastic flavor. And what I've got is I've got some edamame. To that, I'm gonna add just a little bit of olive oil, just a pinch of salt, and maybe about 1/2 teaspoon of lemon juice. And just using my pestle from my mortar and pestle, we're just gonna go ahead and just blend that up. A wonderful source of protein. Okay, let's start putting together our hummus and beet vegetarian sandwich. What I have here is a piece of the naan bread that I actually made yesterday, so it's good and cold. We're gonna start out by taking a little bit of our edamame paste, and we're gonna spread that on nice and thick. Okay, we wanna take a couple sticks of our tofu that we've been seasoning and marinating, place a couple of those in. Then we have our carrot sticks, put a few of those in. It's gonna give a great crunch and a great color, and again, it's really healthy for you. And then to that, we're gonna sprinkle on our beet chips, and then we just wanna drizzle over a couple spoonfuls of our hummus. I'm gonna top that with a few more of our pine nuts, those toasted pine nuts. Again, a great source of protein there. And a little bit more of our diced up sun-dried tomato. And then we're gonna top it off with a few fresh sprigs of spinach. Just roll that up. Fantastic sandwich, great for anybody. Whether you're a vegetarian or you're a meat lover like me, you're gonna love this sandwich. Wow, that was a lot of fun. We made some great sandwiches today. We made our very juicy arrabbiata Italian sausage sandwich, which was fantastic. Then we did a super healthy vegetarian wrap, a hummus and beet wrap with homemade naan. I hope you're gonna put these together and share them with some of your friends this summer for your next get-together. Make them up, wrap them up, be ready for them to eat them up. Share the gospel of good taste with somebody you love today, and get your sauce on.